Thanks. If you purchased anything from the Packers Pro Shop website in the fall, you may be receiving a notice in the mail.
The team reporting today of a data breach which could leak the personal data for multiple fans. New at 5, Samantha Cavalli spoke with a security expert about what that could mean and what to do if you're affected. Samantha.
Right, Bill and Cammie, certain customers who made purchases on the website with a debit or credit card from late September through most of October could be impacted. Purchases made on the website using a gift card, Pro Shop website account, PayPal, or Amazon Pay were not affected. The Packers, in a statement, say that a malicious code was inserted by hackers into the website's database. It was then investigated and removed the day that it was detected. No issues were reported regarding purchases made in person at the Pro Shop at Lambeau Field. Kurt Esser with Esser Consulting in Appleton says when making purchases, use a credit card. That way, if a fraudulent charge is detected, you're protected. A debit card, on the other hand, can allow direct access into your account.
They are going after more and more accounts, and not just big company accounts. They're going out and they're trying to empty out any account that they can get access to.
Now, while we don't have the official number of people this impacted, Esser says to monitor your credit card statements. The Packers say all potentially affected customers have been sent a notification letter. The Packers are also offering credit monitoring and identity theft protection services to help those who were impacted. Cammie.
Samantha.